What radio? The music you want.
With your host, Keys Dan.
Oh man, this place is weird.
RadioWhat.com. What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live in a living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous. It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do you go? DJLittleRock.com. Check availability, get a free price quote, and maybe you could have me, yes, me, play at your next event. Coming up in the program, Lance Curtis, the Lance Curtis Band. I got Lance Curtis, Lawson Wayne, and their momager, Jennifer Caughron, is going to be on the show. You get to hear them in your ears in the next few minutes. Kind of exciting. I'm excited to talk to them. Let's see, this week's shows. Thursday, I'll be at the Old Post Barbecue in Russellville, Arkansas from 6 till 9 in the p.m. Why am I there? Well, for the video dance party karaoke jam, of course. It's a family-friendly show. They got the greatest barbecue anywhere, and they got frosty beverages for the adults in case you care to imbibe. But you know, I keep the music family-friendly. That's in Russellville, Arkansas, Thursday night from 6 until 9. Could be there. It's a great after-school, after-work treat. The Old Post Barbecue, Thursday night, 6 to 9. And then on Friday, we'll be getting down on Friday, my usual Friday night show. It's the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. That one starts at 8 p.m. and it goes until almost 2 in the a.m. Now, this one is over 21. They got the full bar, the kitchen, the pool tables. Oh, my goodness, they got a pool tournament on Friday nights. Oh, yeah, you could make some money on a Friday night playing pool. Yeah, get your stick and go put those balls in the hole. It's really easy to do. Well, as far as I could see, I'm usually on the other side of the room with the video dance party karaoke jam portion of the show. Yeah, I said karaoke. It's a stage. It's yours. You're the stars of the show. All I'm doing is pressing buttons, playing the music for the people, because the dance floor is also open. So when there's no karaoke, I play the dance music for the people to shake their booties. You know, have a good time. Yeah, fun. It's the Rab Friday nights. They also have shuffleboard and foosball and darts and giant Jenga game. And oh yeah, there's always something to do while you're waiting to sing on stage at the Rab. Yeah, it's fun. Friday nights from 8 until almost 2 in the a.m. All right, it's time to talk to the Lance Curtis Band. I get to call them right now. We're going to call Lance Curtis, Lawson Wayne, and Jennifer Caughron. And they're up in Batesville, if I'm not mistaken. So let's call them right now. Lance Curtis, please.
Yes, sir. This is Lance Curtis.
Fantastic. It's Keys Dan with the What Makes You Famous podcast. How's your day, man?
Hey, how are you doing?
Super duper. I've been running around town all day. Do you find yourself running around, or are you mostly a homebody?
You know, I find myself running around quite a bit, mostly in Nashville and stuff, but the days off, every now and then I do like to sit around home and kind of relax a little bit, but still in the process of songwriting and all that. And so I really guess you could say there really is never a day off. And so it's always work and it's always fun. And so when work is fun, then, things are pretty great. But yeah.
Yeah, when work's fun, it feels like you're not working at all. All right. Well, you're on the What Makes You Famous podcast. This is Keys Dan, and you are Lance Curtis. Give the people a little idea of who you are.
So what I do is I'm a country music artist, and I've been going to Nashville for the last 2 years and playing music and doing rides and having meetings and stuff. So pretty much when I was a year old, my grandpa had a classic country band, and I'd get up there with him and play music with him, and just fell in love with it. And never really. I was about 8 when I learned how to start actually playing music and hearing music, but I always had the love for music. And so as I grew, and got older, I developed the love for it, and got to where I was hearing music and playing music, and just really grew with the music, and so but yeah, we've been going to Nashville for 2 years, and it's been a ride. I tell you, it's been really fun.
Lance Curtis, 1 year old, playing with your grandpa. What are you doing, man? What kind of playing are you doing as a 1-year-old lad?
I tell you what, the best playing as a year old was tipping the hats to the ladies, and just being up there trying to look good.
I think a good accessory for a single dad is a baby.
Yes, sir.
Nothing brings the ladies around. Okay, so you were a charm of sorts, making sure that that there was eye candy for the ladies to see, because they cannot resist a little baby. And were you a cute baby? What would your mom say?
You know how all moms are. They'd say that their child is the cutest, and I don't know. I've seen pictures, don't really remember that time, but
you didn't keep a diary from when you were born?
At that time, I was too worried about girls and guitars.
I was playing. Now, I've been talking to your mama a little bit, Jennifer Caughron, and she's the one that got us together to do this little interview, little chit chat, little idea of who Lance Curtis is. Breakout star, trying to get his music out to the world. And I noticed that you have some accolades, and I might be jumping a little far ahead, but I'll go back and forth. I'm noticing your header on your Facebook page. You're the 2018-19 Young Artist of the Year nominee. That's got to be fantastic. How do you feel about that?
That's just a huge honor to be able to get them nominations, and my fans to be able to nominate me for that. It was just a huge honor, and to be able to attend the awards for the last few years and be able to go back this year, I'm super excited about it. And they do a good job over there. I'm just super happy to be a part of it.
Now, I know that you say that you've been going to Nashville for the past couple of years. Are you out of Batesville, Arkansas?
I am. I'm still living in Batesville, and we travel back every other week, and it's getting to the point now where it's like every week, and so we have a good time doing it. It's good family time, good fun, and I get to meet new people, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're not too far away from me. I apologize that we couldn't get together. Hopefully in the near future we can get together and lay down a podcast face to face, because those always seem to be the better ones. But as time progresses and as you grow in your career, please don't forget the little people such as myself who are just getting to know the Lance Curtis. And do you have anybody else with you right now, or? Because go ahead.
I do. I actually have my drummer Lawson with me, and I have my mom/manager, momager and stuff. She's here with me as well.
I like that. Band mom would be or momager. Yeah, I've heard that term before. I definitely have heard that term. All right. Well, perhaps since you've introduced yourself a little bit, they can introduce themselves and give a little taste to the people of who they are and what they're doing and how they got here. And I guess we can go through the years. Usually, when I do these things, I don't really plan or structure them too well, but most of the time it's where you're from, where you are now, and then where you're heading. So let's get with Lawson Wayne. I know it should be ladies first, Jennifer Caughron, but I'm very excited to get to know the members of the band and then the manager. The manager is the one that helps you get the gigs, I'm sure. So Lawson Wayne, drummer, backbeat, and backup vocalist as well for the band. And is the band's name is Lance Curtis?
Yes, sir. It's a Lance Curtis band, and
fantastic. Lawson Wayne, it's your turn to shine. Tell the people a little bit about you.
Hey, how you doing? Well, let's see. I'm 14 years old right now.
Wow.
Yes, sir. I started playing with him about whenever I was 13, I'd say. 12, 13, and then really I would just I always had stage fright. Now, you put me on the court anywhere, field, football field, baseball field, that was all calm. That was my game right there. But I always had stage fright playing music. So we started out, we'd be driving down the road or going anywhere, really. And they'd realize that, my parents, they would realize that I was tapping on the car door, tapping on my legs, on the table, anything. So they said, well, let's get him a cajon. So they got me a cajon, and a week later I went to Nashville and played that.
Wait, for those people, what is a cajon? I'm Cuban. I'm from Miami, so I know what a cajon is. But let the people know what a cajon is.
So a cajon is basically like a little drum box, and it has some guitar strings running up the inside of it. And like the bottom of it will make like a deep bass sound, and the top will make that pop snare sound.
So it's a box. Do you sit on it?
Yes, sir.
It was that kind of a cajon. Okay, very cool. All right, continue that. So that was the first instrument you were playing?
Yes, sir.
Super. I mean, besides drumming on the school desk and annoying the teacher to no end, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I think every young lad goes through that at some point or another. So you're the backbeat. You got the cajon. Then what did you do?
A week after that, we went to open up for Barrett Baber in Tuckerman.
Wait a minute. Barrett Baber? He's a local boy made good. You get this cajon, and a week later, you're opening for a big name. What? I've talked to Barrett Baber. He's a good dude. I haven't had him on the podcast yet, but I talked to him when I was working at a sports station down in Little Rock, and he happened to come on as a guest because he had a new record that came out just a few years back. So what year was this?
This was last year.
Just last year. Yeah, and he must have been going strong on that record, promoting it.
He was. He was, from what I understood and stuff, he came from a show the night before and been traveling all over the place. He's doing really good, and we're really proud of him. He just had that cut with Cody Johnson, and so he's a good guy, and we're super excited for him and his career, and can't wait to see what the future holds for him. But yeah, he was going pretty hard at it back then.
Very cool. All right, Lance Curtis, Lawson Wayne, we got a little idea of how you started. How did you get together and form a band? And then you can go through the other people in your band if you have a solid lineup, or if the two of you are the main ingredients of the Lance Curtis band.
Well, he mentioned earlier he was tapping in the car, and for a little bit we didn't really. It didn't really click, and so we were sitting there. We're like, will you be quiet, But eventually, yeah, he is my brother. And,
okay, yeah, the Lance Curtis and the Lawson Wayne kind of threw me off a little bit, but you're related. I get it. You've known each other your whole lives.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, how old a man are you, Lance Curtis?
I am 18.
18. So you're the big bro. You've been guiding Lawson Wayne since an early time. Was there any fighting involved when you were growing up?
Every now and then.
Okay, and this is where Jennifer Caughron comes in, because she's the one. My mom, whenever my little brother and I used to fight, she'd say, "Take it outside." We go out in the yard and scrap it. Jennifer Caughron, when Lance and Lawson are fighting as young people, what was your method of choice?
I always told them to stop it, or I was going to spank their bottoms.
Well played. Well played.
But they were both first-degree black belts, so they knew a little bit more of how to take care of each other, and that kind of scared this mama.
Boys, I don't care how much black belt training. You could be Marines. You're never bigger than your mama.
That's right.
You will always listen to mom. My mom could throw a shoe at me right now, and I would listen. And I'm much bigger than she is. Oh, yeah. So, all right. So we got the boys a little bit. Jennifer Caughron, where do you come in on this?
Well, okay, so...
Give the people a little idea of who you are.
Yes, I grew up with my dad playing country music my entire life out of Jonesboro. He was... Bill Gage, and he had guitars and Cadillacs for a long time, and he also was Gage Country. But anyway, he did country music all his life, and Lance, at a year old, said, we asked him, we said, "What do you want for your birthday?" And he said, "I want a guitar." Couldn't even hardly say it, but that's what he wanted.
1 year old.
1 year old. So I told my dad, and my dad said, "Well, I want to be the one to buy his first guitar." And I said, "Okay." So he bought him a guitar, and every chance he got up on the stage with my dad and, sang with him and performed with him. And whenever they would come down for a break, that was Lance's time. And he would get the microphone and he would play his guitar. And, we thought he'll beat that guitar up, and we won't be able to keep it long. And we just got him a cheap little Walmart guitar, first act guitar.
Yes, okay.
That little cheap Walmart guitar is hanging in a case on our wall to this day because it's in that good a condition.
Excellent.
And he played it until he was about probably 7 or 8. And we finally decided, okay, well, this kid is actually going to stick with this. So we got him a Fender, and then...
What kind of a Fender?
Yes.
What kind of a Fender? Stratocaster, Telecaster?
No, just an acoustic Fender,
okay.
just an acoustic guitar. And then we got him a little Squire, electric Squire, because he thought he needed to look like his pawpaw. And, but about age 9, he started hearing music. And for the longest, people would say, "Oh, I want him to come and play with us." And he really did look like he knew what he was doing on stage because he'd watch my dad, and when my dad would move his hands, Lance would move his. But he didn't know any keys whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And so finally, about 9 years old, he started hearing music, and I was washing dishes one day, and I started singing Amazing Grace, and I was thinking, wait a minute, where is that noise coming from? And I went into his bedroom, and he was sitting there picking it out on the guitar.
Oh.
And I said, "How did you learn to do that?" And he said, "I don't know." And then that was all it took. I mean, from there he started playing the piano by ear, the guitar by ear. He's played all kinds of different instruments that he's never played before. Just picks them up and starts playing them. And so I was just like, "Holy cow!" Well, my dad. I'm gonna fast forward lots of years.
Please.
My dad passed away a couple of years ago, and Lance still wanted to do music. And so at that time, I thought, well, Daddy's not here to help us anymore. It's going to be on my lap, and I've got to do everything I can to help this kid get what he's wanting. So my husband and I took him to an American Idol audition, his first one ever.
When was this?
That was he was 16. It's been about 3 years ago, 2 years ago. And anyway, I guess it was about 2.5 years ago. Anyway, when we got through, he didn't make it through. He was one of the very first ones to go through the line. And he didn't make it through, but he held his head high. He was okay. And Steve and I, my husband, had said, when he gets done, we're going to take him to Nashville and surprise him. So when he got done, we left and drove 2.5 hours to Nashville. We hit every door we could hit. I mean, we called anybody and everybody that we knew and just said, what do we do? We're here. What do we do? And, part of it might have been just being stupid hillbillies. I don't know, but we didn't care where we went or who we talked to. And it led into a lot more than just, hey, let's take Lance to Nashville. We ended up getting some really big meetings, and those meetings turned into friendships that have helped us, kind of mentor Lance and where he needs to go next, and meeting people, and we've just followed our leads, and that's where, how we've gotten to where we are today. And as far as the boys' names,
mm-hmm.
They do have the same daddy and the same mama.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying that for the people.
Yes.
It's an American family. If it was any other way, that's fine. But
yes,
how did they come up with their different names? Is it stage names?
Yes, they have stage names because our last name is so hard to spell. It's easy to say, but whenever it's not spelled the way that it sounds at all.
Sure.
And so whenever he was on stage, Lance was on stage, he'd say, look me up, I'm Lance Caughron. Well, that didn't work out. So he started going by Lance Curtis, and then we branded him as Lance Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then at 13, when Lawson was 13, he decided, we knew he was really good at drums, and then he came along. So the last year he's been in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've had to call him Lawson Wayne. That's his middle name.
Oh, okay.
So they're going by their middle names, Lance Curtis and Lawson Wayne.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, when I said I was going to be doing this podcast with you guys tonight, I was talking to some of my friends, and they said, well, they sound real country. I said, that's some good, strong American names right there, I'll tell you.
Oh, thanks.
But even Caughron is great. I mean, you could have spelled it Karn or Kron or Caron just to make it a little easier for people phonetically, because that's the way I put it down in my phone, so I remember it's Caughron.
That's right. And we might, you never know how they're going to be actually branded once they make it. And if they do a duo, if they become a duo brother set, they will rebrand them. But at the moment that we just go by Lance Curtis because we had already branded Lance as that.
I think you stick with it, Mrs. Caughron. I really do. Lance Curtis and Lawson Wayne, fantastic name. Lance Curtis Band is a great name for a band. It just gives personality to a band. It makes it personal. If you call it something else, you could trade members out here and there, but Lance Curtis putting his name on it, it gives him ownership of the band, and he's going to care about it more than anybody else in the whole wide world.
That's right.
Yeah. So, all right, Lance Curtis, through the years, you're a little 1-year-old baby singing with your grandpa, and what are you doing in school? Because I already know that Lawson Wayne, he's a jock. That man likes to be on a field or on a court. What are you doing extracurricularly during your school years? Are you good in school? Are you a good kid? Tell the truth, because your mama's standing right there next to you.
I was always a good kid in school. I'm graduated now, but when I was going, I played football. I tried to be the best I could in class, do the best I could to get the best grades, and it was always a lot of fun back in school. You hear when you're going through school, you're always like, man, I can't wait for this to be over, but when it's finally over, you're like, oh crap. But
real world here.
Real world, but I'm very blessed to get to do what I do, and it's super fun, and I'm just super blessed that I get to go play music, because to me it's not work, it's more fun. And if I get to do what I love and make a living at it, then that's what I want to do.
Yeah, you're living the dream, Lance Curtis. A lot of kids think about being in a band or playing music or being some kind of an entertainer, but they don't know that there's a lot of work to it. You got to learn stuff, and from what your mom said, learning the guitar was pretty easy for you. I'm not supposed to show my jealousy, but I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, I'm jealous. I got 3 guitars, and I could play maybe a couple of chords here and there, but playing by ear, I have a cousin, Timmy, that plays by ear. Fantastic. Was this something that just came natural to you, or you just picked up a guitar and plucked on it and heard sounds and were able to emulate those sounds that you heard on the radio, or accompanying your mom while she's singing Amazing Grace? Was it easy, or did you have lessons at all?
For the most part, I've taught myself, and I honestly truly believe that it's a God-given gift, and it was tough at first, because you have to train your mind to learn it. You have to break the muscle memory and all that, and break the barrier that holds you back. But I've even taught lessons, and what I get from a lot of people that I teach is, man, this hurts my fingers and stuff, and I understand that because I've been there. And so it is something that came a little bit difficult and stuff at first, but as you kept doing it and you have the passion for it, it gets easier over time. And so I'm not going to say it was easy right at first, but I will say it did get easier.
Can you read music? Do you know how to read sheet music?
I do not know how to read a single note on sheet music.
How about that?
I can read the Nashville number system, though, and if anyone that doesn't know what that is, it is a set of numbers that say you're going to play a song and stuff like Amazing Grace. You'll put down your numbers. You have like 1 through 8, and so 1 saying you're going to play in the key of G. 1's going to be G. 2 would be E, and then F, and it just goes on and on. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and on your number system, you're going to have 1 representing G, 4 representing 4, and a 5 representing like the D or something. And so it really comes in handy for like songwriters and stuff like that, because what I run into a lot trying to find musicians is you say you do original music, and not a lot of musicians can pick up on original music. And so if you could read these charts and stuff, it's super helpful.
Lance, my young friend, you have taught me something brand new today. I've heard of tabs, I've heard of reading music, but I've never heard of the Nashville number system. How long has that been around? Do you know anything more about that? I'm going to have to look that up.
I don't know how long it's been around. I know they've been using it for a long time in Nashville, and I do know that 2 ladies created it. I just can't remember the year they created it in, and but it is super helpful, and we'll have to sit down and I'll have to show you sometime. It's
well, the interweb is great. I'm going to go ahead and look that one up, and hopefully my listeners are looking it up as well, and they'll find out some new way of how to play. How to play guitar. Is it not just for guitar? Okay, Nashville number system is a method of transcribing music by denoting the scale degree on which a chord is built. Sounds like a lot of jargon, but it was created by Neil Matthews as a simplified system for the Jordanaires. And I know the Jordanaires played with Elvis. How about that? So
that's awesome.
I have learned something new. Thank you. Thank you,
Yes,
Lance
sir.
Curtis. You never know what you're going to learn on the What Makes You Famous podcast. Lawson Wayne, teach me something new. I'm kidding. No pressure, man. No pressure. All right. Before the age of 13, were you playing anything? What were you doing as a young lad in school? And are you also a good kid? And let me remind you, your mom is standing right there next to you.
Well, I tried to be.
There's always 1 out of 2.
I made all A's throughout all my school years, and all the way up until homeschool in
Wow.
7th grade, and then that was just homeschool is honestly it's a little bit harder because you don't have anyone really there to teach you, and you just kind of have to read it and teach yourself. But
Okay, there's 2 different types of homeschool. One where one of the parents will stay home and teach you, but from what you're saying, you're doing the homeschool that you take it upon yourself?
it's online homeschool, like homeschooling on the computer. It's when
He does have instructions and teaching on it,
Oh,
but
no.
it's just he has to read a lot about it.
It takes a lot of discipline, and a kid in 7th grade at that age, really, you have to be a certain type of kid, a certain type of child with a certain type of caliber to be, disciplined enough to teach yourself. And I know you probably have tests that you have to do from time to time. Explain a little bit about this homeschooling. How are you schooling yourself there, Lawson Wayne?
Well, let's see. I have a math class, world geography, English, and can you think of it? Science. It's been a long day. But
Now, whose idea was this to take you out of school, or did you feel like I think I want to try this, Mom and Dad? What did they feel about it?
it was actually the school's idea. They came up to us.
We don't need you around, Lawson Wayne. You're distracting all the other kids. Go homeschool. No. Tell the people a little bit. I'm playing.
They came up to us and they were like, "Well, y'all know y'all are just missing too many days of school." And I mean, even if they were excused or anything like that, we're still just missing too many days.
Oh, this is because of your trips to Nashville.
Yeah, traveling to Nashville and all this music, playing gigs and everywhere else. So we decided to just finally go and be homeschooled.
Wow.
And been doing it for 2 years now, about 2 years. So
How's that been working out there, Mama?
It's working out pretty good. The first year was a struggle because this is not something that I ever wanted to do.
Okay.
And
Are you having to take charge a little bit with the schooling part?
well, the first year, yes, I did more so than this year because this year it's more online. But last year it wasn't, and it was a little bit nerve wracking, because I wanted to make sure that he was learning, but I'm not a teacher, so I wasn't sure what they were learning at school compared to what he's learning in this book. And the system that we're using is Alpha and Omega. And so last year they did workbooks. And we chose workbooks because when the school approached us to switch to homeschool, they actually wanted us to switch to an online program through them.
Mm-hmm.
And we tried that for the first, it was just the first 9 weeks. And it did not work. We would be traveling to Nashville and we would get kicked out of the system and they would be right in the middle of a test. Well, then they would have to go back and totally retake that test. I'd have to call the school, ask them to reset it. And it was just a nightmare. And they weren't happy. Well, I wasn't happy. They couldn't keep up. It was really, really tough on us. And so we decided to go ahead and just take them completely out of school and try the Alpha and Omega. And that program, we did workbooks last year. So I had to, grade everything, make sure that they were doing everything they needed to do. And, and when it came to math, I had to hire a tutor because I never was good in math either. And so, we do face some challenges that, that like I said, I never wanted to be my kid's teacher. So this year, I just decided that we would do online schooling and let him try that. And then that has actually worked out really well, I think, for both of us because the program that we're using, the teaching is already on there. It grades it automatically. They kind of control what he's learning, what he's not learning. So I know he's learning. I know he's getting what he needs, and he can move on into college. And I have called and asked colleges, even at Belmont in Nashville, Lipscomb, some of the ASU and some places around here, Razorback, country and Fayetteville. But I just wanted to make sure that, if they were to be homeschooled, are they going to be accepted into the colleges, and what did they need in order to be accepted in colleges? And Arkansas actually has a system, it's like a program where it's called Education Alliance out of Searcy. And if you're a homeschool student, you can enroll with them. And at the end of the year, you go in and you tell them what your kids' grades were. And then when they are 12th graders, they get transcripts and a diploma, a high school diploma, and they get to go and they have a ceremony and they walk with all the other homeschool kids. And it was a really nice thing for Lance when he went through it. Asa Hutchison signs off on your transcript and your diploma.
That's the governor, for those of you not familiar with Arkansas. People listening all over the world here.
Okay. Yes, our governor signs off on it. So Lance does have a high school diploma through the Arkansas State, and then a transcript as well. And
how long was Lance homeschooled?
Only 1 year.
1 year. Now, full disclosure, I have a 14-year-old been homeschooled since she was old enough to get in school. She's never been to a public school, and she uses the Sonlight. I think mostly it's Sonlight.
Oh yeah, okay. I haven't heard of that one yet.
Yeah, it's like a program. I think every year it's probably it's less than $1,000 per year to get all the books and such. And let me tell you, her mother didn't want to be a teacher either, but she is excelling. She is excelling, and she doesn't know everything, but the school books, they teach you. So if you're looking to homeschool your kids, it could be a good choice, especially if your children have other interests such as music. My daughter's in dance 3 or 4 nights a week, and she takes about 7 classes. So she has extracurriculars, and she meets with other kids. Some people think that homeschool kids never see any other children. I know you only did it a few years, but some of them that have been homeschooled their whole life, they feel like, oh, you're not getting that interaction at school. There's other ways to interact with children, but that one-on-one education, I can't say enough about it. I think, what do you feel, Lance Curtis? You did it 1 year when you got pulled out of public school and started training on your own. How did you feel? What was the difference either way?
Of course you're gonna miss the people that you've been around your entire life, but I honestly liked it. I was able to go faster in my work and be able to be able to see where I'm at throughout the year, and so that was very good, and I really enjoyed it.
Because of him homeschooling, he actually graduated a year early.
Fantastic. See, and that's the other thing is I think a regular 14-year-old would probably be in 6th grade, and she's taking a lot of 8th grade classes, and then pretty soon she'll be taking college classes. Lawson, you're going to be taking this homeschool probably the next 3 or 4 years or so, and you've already been doing it 2 years, right?
Yes,
how do you feel getting out of school, and do you have time for friends and playtime and interaction?
It definitely was harder a little bit because I had a lot of friends that I talked to every single day, and just hung out with and all the time, but I still get to see them. I mean, my best friend, he lives right down the road from me, so I still get to go over there and see him, hang out with all my other friends at games and stuff like that. So it's not too bad.
All right. Yeah, and you're a younger man. Do you play outside, or are you on the video games?
Pretty much a little bit of both. I like to go outside and shoot basketball, like shoot hoops or throw the football, baseball, something like that. But also at the same time, you'll catch me a lot of nights just sitting in my room playing like the Xbox.
What's your game of choice?
There's either NBA 2K20 or Fortnite right now.
All right, I haven't gotten into Fortnite, and Xbox 360 is probably the only game system I don't have. I'm looking at a PS3, PS4, Wii, a Wii U, a Switch, and I think there's like a some kind of Nintendo knockoff that's got about 600 games on it. But, okay, I haven't gotten the chance to play Fortnite, and I'm hearing that's such a fun game. What do you like about Fortnite?
Really, I just like the energy and like not knowing really where anyone's at, and then all of a sudden, I like it that it's an online game. You're playing against real people. The skill levels are always different. And so you never know what type of person you're going to be going up against. And it's like they just started yesterday, or they've been going at it for a year or two now.
Wow, Lawson. See, and I was going to ask you about that interaction online. So, kids are getting a little interaction that way too. You get your playtime, talking to people online, probably from all over the world, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Man, I'm gonna butt in here and stuff. He's being humble. He's actually played with people who's played with like Ninja and stuff like that. Like the
I know who Ninja is.
But yeah, he's being humble. He's pretty good at the game. A lot better than I am. I'd say that.
Fantastic, man. You may have some of these kids are making money playing these video games. Some of them get scholarships playing video games. Is that something you see yourself doing there, Lawson?
Oh, I'm not. I don't really know, honestly. I just do it to talk to my friends and enjoy having fun. I just do it for fun, really.
That's cool. Just getting an idea of who you are and how you came to be, man. And you're growing into some good people coming together and making music for the people. Now, I'm looking once again on the banner and Facebook. I am stalking some of your pictures, and you got some good family pictures. It looks like you're tight, as a family unit. What do you like to do with your mom and dad? What kind of family trips are you doing, or what kind of activities are you doing with your mom and dad? And either one can answer.
Music. Going to Nashville.
Always music.
That's our family time. That's what we enjoy doing. Like each and every one of us, we want to be somewhere playing music and listening to music, and pretty much right now it just kind of revolves around that.
Well, I mean, mom and dad are working. Jennifer, I see you have a job as a marketing consultant of some kind, and the husband, I'm guessing he's got a job outside. I mean, how often can you get let out of work? Because most people got to work 9 to 5 or something around that time.
Well, yes, God has been we've been blessed very much. We've been fortunate. My husband is actually a pastor at Providence Missionary Baptist Church in Mount Pleasant, and he's been there 12 years, and our church has been very loving and kind and understanding, and has allowed us to, if we needed to, be gone, they've allowed us to be gone with our kids, because they understand that the kids need help right now. Mm-hmm. My husband's also a general contractor, so he's able to make his own schedule, and work around the boys' schedule. And my job, I can take it anywhere I want to. So wherever I'm at, I can work. And
you can brag a little bit about your job. Tell people what you do with the marketing consultant if you want to go ahead.
Well, yeah, I actually work for a company called Syntech Solutions. They're out of Connecticut.
Mhm.
And what we do, like when you walk into like a bigger chain restaurant like Chili's or Sonic or any of your bigger chains, and it has the little signs that say, text Chili's to 57711 to sign up for our VIP rewards or whatever, or coupons. Well, that's what I sell. And
okay.
so basically what my company did, the larger chains, they go in and they get these in-house programs that cost $300,000 to $400,000 to get them going. Well, our company went in and did $1 million program, database and stuff, and then they made it affordable for all mom and pop businesses and smaller businesses and for the chains. So we are now picking up McDonald's. We picked up them. We picked up Chick-fil-A. Some of the bigger brands, we're starting to pick them up as well because they realize they can go with us cheaper than they can build it themselves.
Yeah.
And so now we're really there for all businesses, and it doesn't matter. I'm not, we don't have I don't have a territory that I have to work within. So if we're in Nashville, I'll go and talk to businesses there and, try to sell there. And then if we're here, I'll do it here. And I just kind of try to work wherever I can work right now.
Are you just going cold to these businesses, or is this something that you pre-plan? Hey, since I'm going to be in that area, let me look for some people that I can chat with.
A little bit of both. I mean,
Wow.
Sometimes I just go in cold. Sometimes, I'll know, like, we've been in Nashville so much that we've made friends with some business owners and stuff, and we just partnered up with one of the businesses there, Belcourt Taps, and Miss Rose from there. My boys call her Mama Rose, and she takes good care of my boys. And anyway, she signed up for this, and she's a lady that is well respected in Nashville. She's got a lot of businesses, and she just now took over Alley Taps as well on Printers Alley. And so, we'll be talking to her about that pretty soon. But she does really well. And some places, I just walk in and say, hey, I have something really great I want to offer to you. Can I talk to you? And we sit down and we talk, and most of the time, it's, hey, this is very interesting. Let me talk it over with my business partner and we'll get back to you, So, then you get some of them that are like, no, we're more of an intimate store, and we don't want to, we don't want to do that with our customers. We don't want to have to, send them text messages and bother them. And so, you find a little bit of both, and, but God is blessed, and it's been a way that we've been able to take our kids and do what we need to do, because like Lance said, we are traveling. We started off going there about every 3 months, and then it started being about every 2, and then once a month, and then it got to where it was every other week. And we just came home Friday, and we're headed back tomorrow.
Wow.
So
well, before we get off of that Centex, it sounds like you're updating even the mom and pops, because the kids do like the text. They're always looking at their phones, and they might as well be looking at their phones to get a coupon, so they can get a discount. And yeah, I said coupon, like Ron White says coupon.
Yeah.
So, and it looks like that cold calling thing is a running theme, because earlier when you were saying that you go to Nashville and you were just cold talking to people, you didn't have one person that you knew in Nashville that, hey, we got to go talk to that guy or that girl. You didn't have one person? You just went to Nashville?
Yeah, no, we knew one person in Nashville.
Okay.
Brent Baxter.
Okay.
He is a songwriter, and he's from Arkansas, and he wrote Monday Morning Church for Alan Jackson with Aaron Enderlin.
Wow.
And so he actually played football with my husband.
Yeah.
And so we called him. We were like, Brent, we're in town. Where should we go? And he gave us the name and said, go to NSAI and talk to Bart. Tell him I sent you. So we did. And they're like, oh, well, you're not going to be able to get a meeting with Bart this week. He's just really busy. And, there's just probably no way. And I said, well, please just tell him that Brent Baxter sent me. And about a day and a half went by, and we got a phone call, and they said, can you be here on this date, this time? And I said, we sure can.
Yes.
So we went, and we landed that meeting, and he fell in love with Lance and said, Lance, you're writing above your years. You're really, you've really got something there, son, and he said, I like you. I want to see you every time you come. And so we were like, awesome, well, he ended up getting us tickets to the Bluebird Cafe, and we went and watched the show, and it was the Legends of the Bluebird. And it was, oh my goodness, can you remember everybody? I should know their names, but I can't, I can see their faces, but I can't think of all their names. But one of them, he started telling, the story of his song, and he said, this guy came in and said he heard me sing it, and he said, I like that song, and if I ever become famous, I'm going to sing it. And he said, well, that song kind of went like this, and he broke out into the dance. And he said Garth Brooks recorded that song. And so it was the singer that wrote the dance. The songwriter.
Great.
And so we got to meet him, and we've met several people, but it was really neat. And then the next time we went, we also got a meeting that same week with a lady from BMI, Leslie. She heard Lance, and she listened to him, and she said, she asked him, she said, Lance, how many songs have you written? And at this time, Lance, he's like, maybe 10. And she said, well, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because you may be another Taylor Swift. But she said, I'm going to turn around, I'm going to listen to you, and let me just see what you got. And he said, all right. And she said, but normally I tell you to write 100 songs, throw them in the trash, and then come see me on your 101. Yeah. And we were both looking at each other like, are you kidding me? And so she turned around, and Lance started singing her his songs, and she turned back around. She said, let me tell you this. She said, you got something there. She said, I want you to start emailing me your songs. Well, that's probably the one thing, I guess that's probably the one thing that I fell short doing was sending her his songs. But he was writing them constantly, and I did not want to bombard her with songs. And, so I did not do that, but we do have, we've been talking, and we would love to go back and see her now that it's been 3 years and say, hey, listen to this song,
Yeah. Well, it sounds like she might have wanted to been bombarded with songs.
Well, I know, and I kind of regret with that decision on when I didn't. But,
it's been a learning process, and it was one of our first times there, and it took a lot to learn what to do and a lot to learn what not to do, and so it's been a learning process, and we've enjoyed the process, but looking back on things, my advice for anyone that's wanting to start out and stuff, when someone hands you a card and says send something, you send it.
I agree.
Yeah, always follow up, and that's the biggest thing, and a lot of people have even said, oh, don't talk to the stars if you see them, don't talk to them. Well, we just weren't a lot of people, and so when we saw them, we talked to them.
Yeah.
And, at least say hi to them, and, hey, we love your music, or whatever, and can you, our boys are in country music, and do you have any advice for us? What can we do? And the boys actually met Carrie Underwood.
Okay.
And yeah, we were out at a location, and I won't give away that because she has some wild and crazy fans, but anyway,
I'm one of them.
Well, we love Carrie Underwood, and but sometimes it gets scary. But anyway, we were at this location, and my husband had walked right by her, and she said, "Hey," and he said, "Hi." And he walked right on by, and I walk in, and as soon as I open the door, I'm like, "Oh my word, there sits Carrie Underwood."
Right.
And so I'm kind of just like, "Whoa!" And I told the boys, I said, "Carrie Underwood's up there," and they're like, "What?" And she had her back to them. When she turned around, they're like, "Oh my gosh!" So we went outside, and she come out a little bit later with her. It was her and her little boy, and she was 9 months pregnant.
Oh,
at the
how
time.
sweet.
And so Lawson opened the door for her, and she walked out, and he said, she looked at him, she said, "Oh, what a gentleman." And we still never said anything to her. And my husband walked out, and I said, "There's Carrie Underwood." And he goes, "Well, go talk to her." And I said, "I don't know if I can talk to her." And
Oh.
he said, and I said, "I don't know." And I said, I wasn't like, "Oh, I can't talk to Carrie Underwood," but I was more of like, I don't want her to think I'm a stalker, And anyway, so I walked around the corner, and I was like, "Hey, Carrie, I do know who you are, and I wanted to say hi to you. My boys are in country music, and man, I mean, we've watched you since the beginning, and I just didn't know if you had any kind of advice for them, and we really look up to you." And so we got to talk. We talked for about 45 minutes. She was very, very nice. Well, the kids took it. I asked her, I said, "Carrie, I can't be this close to you and not ask you for a picture." And she said, "Sure, sure." So I took the picture. Well, I took it just from the upper chest and up because she was in her workout clothes. I mean, she wasn't dressed up for a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so it basically got her face. And well, Lance posted it, and within seconds, his phone, was going haywire. And I said, "What in the world is wrong with your phone?" And he was like, "I don't know. All these fans of Carrie are like wanting to know where we saw her at and where can they come find her." And I was like, "Oh, Lance, don't answer any of that." Well, then the next thing we know, his fans are sending him images of he was on Pop Culture,
Country Rebel.
Yeah, Country Rebel.
Inquisitor.
All of these places were posting the picture in his post, what he said about her, all over Nashville's magazines and just everywhere. And we were like, "Oh no, what have we done?"
No, this was just a couple of days ago?
No, this was right. She was 9 months pregnant. She had
It's probably close to a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah, around Christmas time last year, somewhere around there. She that's back when she had just done the CMA Awards, and she was talking about how she could have went into labor anytime.
Wow.
Well, then she went 6 weeks without taking a picture or commenting or anything. And so when he put that picture out, and I didn't show if she was still pregnant, they were asking if she's still pregnant, has she had the baby, all this stuff, and we wouldn't answer any questions. We just were staying silent. And then that next Monday, that was on Thursday, and on that next Monday, she had her baby, and then she posted a picture of her and her baby.
Aww.
And so it was a really neat thing to get to meet her and talk to her. She's very, very nice.
Yeah.
And very warm-hearted. Just very kind. And they've met Chris Young out like that, and he was very, very nice and helpful and talked to him. Actually, he was invited to the show and to their show because they were doing a show that night, and he was really good. It was nice.
You find some people say don't meet your heroes because you'll be disappointed, but people are people. I find that more and more, especially talking to people all the time doing this podcast or even talking on the radio or just having conversations with people from all walks of life. Nobody's better than anybody, and the ones that do think that they're better than anybody, you don't want to interact with them anyway.
That's right. That's right.
But it sounds like you've had some good interaction with some of your country heroes. And what has been what have you gotten from the country legends that you've met so far? How has it shaped you? Let's put that one to Lance first, and then Lawson, the people that you've met.
I do think that it's helped me grow, because they give advice and stuff, and they tell their story, how they started and stuff like that, and to hear their story, to hear what they did, what they went through, they went through the exact same stuff that we're going through, and it's a humbling experience, and it really helps you grow. It helps you learn, and to be able to learn what they did and how their journey led to where they're at and stuff. And so it definitely gives you some confidence, it's a good feeling, because you're like, man, I'm on the same path that they were once on. And so,
yeah, Lawson, have you met any drummers in any of the bands, or any musicians that have given you tips on how to be a better drummer, or anything?
Well, actually, whenever we opened up for Barrett Baber back in Tuckerman a year ago, he had a guy that was actually like a guitarist or something, but he used to play drums for Barrett. And that was like I was playing an electric set of drums for maybe a week at that time.
Oh my, yeah, because I was thinking you were playing the cajon the whole time.
Yes, sir. I switched out. I played that for a week, and then I got an electric set and played that for a week and opened up for him.
And then I went went and played in front of 1,000 people, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
What? That's crazy. You don't know how. Do you hear yourself? Do you hear how insane that is?
A week after that, I got a full acoustic set. So
it wasn't actually a week. It was close, but it was like within a month.
It's insane. People study their whole lives, music theory, how to read music, which you don't do. Eventually, I feel like you're going to need to learn how to read music. But I guess if you're writing your own songs, you don't need to read your own music because you're going to know your own songs. All right, Lance Curtis, Lawson Wayne, which one is writing the music primarily, or are you both writing songs?
I am writing and stuff. Lawson, he puts the beats and stuff to it. Every now and then he'll correct a word. You know how little brothers are. But yeah, I'm the one writing, and I've been blessed to be able to write with some really good co-writers in Nashville and get to learn, from a lot of people. And so, every write's different. Everyone has their own style, and so to get to see what everyone's doing and get to learn from them, when you write on your own, you bring back everything you learn and you kind of combine it all into your own experience, and you might, I was raised on classic country. So when I first started, I was all classic country, but going to Nashville, I'd go to writes with people that were raised on rock. And so there was rock roots that they wrote about, and so you kind of combine the classic country, the rock roots. Some people might write the pop and stuff. So all that comes together like a big spider web, and it really helps and stuff when you're writing on your own. It gives you new aspects on what to write about.
Lance Curtis, what do you consider classic country? Name a few.
So what?
Name a few, Lance. What do you consider classic country?
I'm real big on George Strait and Alan Jackson and stuff, and I really, really do love their music. I feel like they write about what they know. That's I'm not big on saying this is country, that's country, and so I believe that if you sing what is in your heart, then that's what makes you country.
Just trying to get a beat on what classic country is to you, because you could have gone back to Hank Williams and Marty Robbins and the like, and even Roy Rogers, singing his stuff. So, but yeah, classic country. Once it gets to a certain age, over 20 years or so, becomes a classic. I don't know why all the stuff playing on classic country is stuff I used to listen to in high school. Oh yeah, I'm old. But all right, so Lawson, same for you. Okay, this is a standard interview question in 3, 2, 1. What is the writing style that you have, Lawson? What is your inspiration, if any, when you're? Does Lance come to you with maybe a poem or some lyrics, and then you put the beat to it, and you help him work out kind of a tone? I'm not a songwriter. Explain to the people what is the songwriting technique for you guys?
Really, Lance, he'll write the song and then he'll put the guitar to it, and then he'll come to me for the drums, like the beat going with the guitar. So I'll already have the guitar and what he wants in the song, and then play along with that a lot of the time.
So is the Lance Curtis Band a 2-man team? Is that what you went to play for Barrett Baber? 2-man?
When we opened for Barrett, we did have a band, but good group of guys and stuff. We love them to death. We picked up a few guys from Arkansas here, and we played a few shows together and stuff, but eventually went our separate ways, and so now we have a Nashville band. We play a lot of shows with them. We've been on the road on tour and stuff for the last month and a half, really. We've kind of got off for Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff, and so that's been good, rest, because we were at it for a solid about month and a half, and we went to Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Nashville a few times, and so we really hit it hard and got to meet a lot of people, go a lot of states, and so it was a lot of fun.
You are so far ahead of the game. My goodness, you are a hard-working, touring band at the age of 14 and 18. My goodness. And so is it just the two of you are the main core of it, and then you have, well, for lack of a better word, hired guns that, trained musicians that they know how to play anything. And a lot of times they're studio musicians that make so many albums, so many different artists, and you'll never know that it was just that same group of musicians. And just all they do really is to trade out the singers. So the two of you are the Lance Curtis Band, the blood, the heart. Now I saw there was a girl in the picture. Is she part of it as well, or any part of it?
You might be thinking, was she blonde or brown head?
Oh, I don't remember. I'm past that picture now. I thought maybe there was somebody else in the band, but it is the two of you.
When we started out a few years ago, Mom would, she sings and she has a really good voice. So Mom would kind of, sing a few songs, and but in the past we have had a backup singer. Her name was Cassie Craig. She was actually like Miss International for Arkansas, and so she had a lot going on with pageants and stuff like that, and we kind of went separate ways because she was in a pageant, and she had a lot to balance between music and pageants and stuff, and she's doing really good in pageants. And so, but yeah, we did have her as a backup singer for a little bit. She was super good, had a wonderful voice, and but for the most part, it's me and Lawson and stuff, the core, and we play a lot of duo shows together, around Arkansas and stuff like that. And when we go out and play bigger venues and go on tour and stuff, we do take the band.
That is great. So the two of you, all right, now, we've already gotten to now, what you're doing now. You're already touring. what are you playing now? You say you're doing a couple of some acoustic sets. Where can people find you around town nowadays in the Batesville area, doing your thing locally, and then we'll go globally. So locally, where can they find you?
Well, we are booking right now for 2020, and so as of right now, we've kind of hit all of our shows for 2019. We had a good year last year. We played a lot around Arkansas. We played at the Wolverton Mountain Music Festival, and that was a lot of fun. We Wolverton Mountain, I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but there's an old country song back in the day. It's called Wolverton Mountain. And last year they had the first annual festival for that in Kentucky on the Wolverton Mountain. And the Kentucky Headhunters came out, and they were the headliners. So we got to open up for them, and that was a lot of fun. But we played Oscar's Smokehouse and Grill in Batesville, and we played at Sobo's in Little Rock. That's pretty close to Conway, right?
Okay. I suppose it would be. I was just down in Little Rock at the Rev Room, or just across the street, talking to some fellows that played Saturday night. So yeah, I'm so excited to be talking to you. And now, are you doing any covers, or are you doing those 10 songs that you have in your pocket that are they produced, and are they available for people to listen to?
Yeah, they are all on all the major streaming stuff. So Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, pretty much anywhere where you buy your digital music, you can find our stuff. Our album cover sounds like country. We been working very hard within the last few years, and we've written over, I'd say maybe about half 100 or something.
Oh my!
No,
How many have gotten produced?
no, I meant about 150 songs.
Yeah, half 100 will be 50. I know math is hard. We're homeschooled. I get it.
Yeah. Anyways, we've written a bunch of songs, and just trying to expand our catalog and stuff. But when we play live shows, we do kind of a mixture between covers and originals and stuff. A lot of places like to hear the covers. They like to have something they can sing along to, and when you put your originals in there, if you have something that they think is a cover, then that's when you got something. That's a good feeling there. And so, but yeah, we have all of our stuff on all the major streaming. You can find it on YouTube and all that stuff.
The boys can do shows anywhere from an hour to 4 hours.
Yeah.
They've done that long of a show before.
Oh, yeah.
And as far as booking, because they're young, they're limited to places that they can go and play. Mm-hmm. Just because they can't get into 21 and up and that kind of thing. And we don't want to be at bars, so we don't play at bars.
Okay.
We play at restaurants that serve, but we don't want to go to just a bar.
Yeah, I wondered about that. Being under 21, I'm sure they could still play in those places. You're just limiting that on your own personal reasons. Yes.
And it's worked out for us. We actually talked to Nexus Coffee. I talked to them today, and we're supposed to be finding out a date for tomorrow. Or tomorrow we should have a date where we're going to be selling tickets to come and see their show at Nexus Coffee in Little Rock.
Wow. When is that?
It's a coffee shop that has a stage. It's a really nice venue.
No, I'm saying, do you have a date for that already, or is that something you're talking about?
I don't. They're supposed to call me today with it, and she called and said that it would be tomorrow, that the guy that actually has the calendar and stuff is overseas, and she couldn't get a hold of him today.
So Mama Jennifer Caughron, you're in charge of the booking?
Yes, I do.
All right.
I'm the one that does all the booking, all of his all of their social media, their photography, Their dad is the one that runs all their sound equipment. It's a family affair.
That's great, fellas. You lucked out on the music backing. You got your own roadies. You got your management already.
Yeah,
That's fantastic, man.
We're truly blessed.
Yeah, for sure. You are so far ahead of the game. If you are going to make it, you have so many people that are backing you up, that love you. That's fantastic. Not a lot of people would do that. There's some parents that be going, music? No. Go to school. Go become a doctor, lawyer. Go make some money. Doing it right. No, but it sounds like you're heading the right direction.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, let the people know how to get a hold of you, how to find your songs. Where do they go? Let's give that one, since I haven't heard Lawson speak so much. Lawson, give us all the social media, baby.
All right. Well, you can go to the website. It's lancecurtismusic.com, and that's where we'll be posting a lot. Oh,
I think it's .org.
well, it's lancecurtis.org.
Yeah.
Because when I first did it, I thought that would be okay, but then I got to realize that no, that's not okay. So I actually have a lancecurtismusic.com that will lead you to the lancecurtis.org.
Okay. That's what I came across, was the lancecurtis.org. It's still on your Facebook as lancecurtis.org. So if you want to change the URL, I'd encourage you to do that. Oh, that's
right. It is. Thank you.
No problem. We're here to serve. We're here to help each other. And it's good that you've met up with all these great bands and you've had good interaction. That makes me feel good. That people don't get too big for their britches. They remember where they came from. And I hope you remember that you came from Batesville, Arkansas, wherever you head on this fine planet of ours. And hey, you might be playing music on the moon sometime. That's possible.
Did the boys tell you about their producer that they're working with right now?
Tell us that now. Yeah, this is the perfect time for that. Is to tell us where you are right now and where you're heading.
Yeah, so we were playing a show at Belcourt Taps in Nashville, and guys and stuff that I've known for a while, but really didn't know who he was. That's a long story right there, but he came up and stuff, and he's like, "Man, I love your sound. I love what you're doing. I want to kind of look into you. You have anything where I can listen, And so I gave him a CD, and it took a few days, but he called. He said, "Man, I want to meet up, and I want to talk about some things." And so I said, "All right." So we met up, and we sat down and had a very good 2-hour discussion, and come to find out, this guy, his name is Joe Jorgensen, and he used to tour with Nickelback back in the day as a rock band. His name was Angel Fall.
The rock band's name.
Yeah, the rock band's name was Angel's Fall, and they were very big back in the day. They were on several record labels like Sony and I think RCL and RCA and a few others, and so but anyways,
no, I knew that name sounded familiar. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Yeah, anyways, Joe, he was touring and stuff, and he eventually got sick and stuff, and it was a disease that took a little bit to cure, and he
ended up with Crohn's disease.
Yeah, it's very sad and stuff to hear, but he was out for a little bit. He decided that if he ever did get better, he was going to move from LA to Nashville, and so he eventually got better and moved to Nashville and started his career over there as a country artist, and he is doing very good. He has all of his stuff on YouTube and all that. You can check it out. It's Joe Jorgensen, and his song is Turn Me Into Water. And if you haven't heard it already, I recommend going to listen to it because it's that good a song. But anyways, me and him started working together, and what we're kind of doing is right now we're in a writing stage where we're writing, say, 10 to 12 songs, and then we're going to record these songs and stuff and put them on EP and get extended play where we can take to the record labels and stuff like that and say, here's what we got. Let us know what you think, And so it's very, very exciting. We have a lot of stuff that we're working on for 2020 and just can't wait to share it with y'all.
Excellent, man. Excellent. That is fantastic. Talking to Lance Curtis and Lawson Wayne and Momager. Jennifer Caughron. Man, I've had a good time chatting with you. Now we got a little idea of who you are. Lance Curtis Music, and it's the Lance Curtis Band. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Look for them everywhere. Now, you say you have the Facebook. I've already found that, and you have the regular website. It doesn't have all your social media coming off of there. At least I can't find it so well. But do you have the Instagram? Because all the kids want to be out there, and the Twitter.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're on Instagram and Twitter. The Instagram is Lance Curtis Music. You can find it on there, and also Lawson Wayne. You can find his page on there, and you'll find some of the best drum pictures on his page, and some of the places we've been on the Lance Curtis page, and so and where we're going to be next. And so if you're wanting to come out to a show or something, go to our website and go to our Facebook and Instagram and stuff, and click follow and all that, and we'll keep you posted where we're going to be.
Absolutely. LanceCurtis.org is the spot to find all the I'm looking at all the past shows. My goodness, you're working hard.
I appreciate it.
Were you were going to say something, Jennifer?
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, I guess there's last words for the people as we wrap this up. I mean, I think we got an idea of who you are. Very exciting. I look forward to speaking to you in the future as time progresses, as the shows go on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you've brushed with greatness, and you're heading that way. You're going to become great, and just don't forget us little people down here.
No, sir. I really appreciate you for having us on the show and stuff, and also would look forward to speaking with you again in the future, and maybe sometime meeting live. And so that'd be a lot of fun.
Hey, Key Dans.
Yes.
There is one thing I would like to say, and just kind of explain something that some people may not understand. But when you see artists and they're constantly putting out, hey, like my page, like this, like that, share this, share that. The record labels now are looking to see who has the biggest fan followers, and they look on social medias. So whenever a artist is putting stuff like that out, if you like that artist, I know it takes up 5-10 minutes of your time sometimes on voting and, surveys that you have to fill out for these artists, but it really, really helps them in boosting their career. And so, if the listeners out there, could go and check out Lance and Lawson's pages, like their pages, share their stuff when they see videos. It does take a second to hit a share button. Share their videos, share it with your friends, ask them to share it. Lance and Lawson both are nominees, or the nominees are open for the Arkansas CMAs right now, and there's about 8 categories that Lance could qualify in. And so they're listed on his Facebook page. And then Lawson for Drummer of the Year. And so the nominations are open under the ArkansasCMA.org. And, we appreciate if whoever would go in and, nominate the boys for those categories. The first round is all by nominations, but the more nominations you get, that secures your top 5. And so you have to have multiple nominations to get into the top 5. And then the top 5, you have to vote on those top 5. So it's a 2-step process. But, the boys would appreciate your votes or the nominations if y'all don't mind to go and do that for them. And you can find that on his Facebook page, on Lance Curtis' Facebook page.
Thank you so much, Jennifer Caughron, for bringing that up. And that's the wave of the future. It used to be record sales. Now it's how many likes do you have on your Instagram.
That's right. That's right.
And that's that's one way, one small way that you could support an artist. And you're on Spotify, so that's another way that you could support an artist is put their songs on your Spotify playlist. As many times as it plays, hey, maybe they'll make a penny or two each time it plays, and that adds up. And the thing I hear most from music artists is, how do you support the artist? Listen to their music. That's how you do it.
That's right.
That's right.
And we in Nashville, we the people that you get to know over there, the number one thing you do is support each other, because that's the best way to help them grow. That's the best way for if they were to make it and stuff, that you had a part of helping them do that. And it's a good understanding over there. Everyone wants to help each other, and so it's a good place to be, and a lot of good country people over there.
Yeah, and one song for an independent artist, just one song to get it mastered and recorded, it could cost up to $5,000 a song. And then when people buy it for $1, so yeah, we need all the listeners that we can get, because it's not cheap to record them. I
agree. And where did you get all these songs mastered? Now you say you have 10 that are out there and mastered, and that are able to be bought, downloaded, and listened to. Where did you get those recorded and mastered?
We recorded Off the Road Records in Franklin, Tennessee with P.T. Houston. He was a big studio producer back in the day. He recorded a lot of the stuff you hear on the country radio from the 90s. And so his mixer in his studio was actually the mixer that the Grand Ole Opry used for over 15 years. And so he is very fortunate to get that stuff. I mean, all the greats went through it, like Hag and Waylon and all them people from the 60s and up and stuff. They ran through that mixer, and so he has a very nice studio and a bunch of good musicians who do a good job, and he knows what he's doing, so I definitely recommend him.
Lance's fiddler player is the one who played Seminole Wind.
Oh, that's fantastic. John Anderson.
Yes.
My goodness. What's that?
His name is Grandpa Joe Spivey, and he's a good guy.
That's cool.
I'll tell you what, he wears overalls everywhere he goes. And,
it just like Grandpa from Hee Haw. I like that. I like that a lot.
That's right.
Now, when you go and get stuff mastered, do you just bring him a demo, or what do you bring him to or are you recording in that studio?
A lot of times we do record in the studio. Beforehand, we'll send voice memos or a demo or anything, over to them, just so they can get the idea of what the song sounds like and all that, But we do we record in the studio, and the process is so fun, because especially when you get a full band in there and stuff, and you're recording a full band session, it's so fun just to watch the magic happen,
Is everybody playing together or playing their own instrument one at a time?
It's so cool because everyone's playing together. It's just like you're at a live show and stuff, and it's so cool and stuff to see the chemistry and all the magic happen and stuff, and there's just nothing like it.
But what's even cooler is we walk in and they've never heard these songs before, because they're Lance's originals.
Right.
And they'll say, okay, we're going to chart this out. And the producer has heard it, so he'll push play. And these musicians will sit there and chart it out, say, okay, got it. And then they'll walk in there, listen to it one time, and lay down the track.
Yeah, you say chart it out. Lance doesn't know how to write music. How is he getting the music into these people's hands?
Nashville music system, or number system.
The number system.
Yes, sir.
Magic, man. It's magic. You're good. You've mastered this Nashville number system, and obviously these musicians, these hired guns, and know how to play it, man. That's great. All right.
I appreciate it.
Oh.
It is something that's used quite a bit over there, and it's very helpful.
Well, like I said, you taught me something new. I looked it up, and there it is, right? It's got its own Wikipedia page. So that's Nashville number system. Another way to learn how to play guitar, not just learning notes or learning how to read music or learning tabs. A lot of the musicians I've talked to, especially the guitarist, gone on YouTube, grabbed a tab book or something, and learned how to play using tabs. You'd be surprised at how many working musicians don't know how to read music. It's not unheard of.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's wrap this up. Let's go with Jennifer Caughron. Any last words for the people?
Just if you're out there and you're listening and you're interested in finding out more about these boys, go on to their website, lancecurtismusic.com, their Instagrams, YouTube, Facebook, and all of their their Snapchats. Just follow them. If you are looking to hire bands, we do have acoustic act between the two boys. They can go and do up to a 3-hour show just by themselves, or we can have a full band. So it just depends on, what you're willing to pay and what you want to hear.
Anywhere between an hour or 4-hour shows, and so just depending on what the venue
10
wants.
hour.
4 hours.
We got a marathon. No, Lawson Wayne, last words for the people.
Oh, I just want to say thank y'all to everyone that listens to our music and supports it. And really, we'll just continue to keep trucking along, playing shows and having fun.
Lance Curtis, since your name's on the marquee, you get the last words of the show. Last words for the people.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for having us, and look forward to being on the show again. You can find us once again on all of our Instagram and social media stuff, or you could buy the music off the major streaming, and we look forward to seeing all of y'all on the road. And so can't wait for what 2020 has in store.
Well, there you have it, party people. The Lance Curtis Band. Lance Curtis, Lawson Wayne, and their momager, Jennifer Caughron. Yeah, I see nothing but big things happening for them. They're already getting to know the right people and learning from the right people and learning that people are people, no matter how big they are. My goodness, they're meeting their heroes. They're meeting country greats, people that have already made it big, and they're able to gain some knowledge, glean from them, something to help them on their career. And that's the way it should be. Once you learn a thing, you should teach the thing. Don't keep the thing all to yourself. I know some people think, and I know I used to think when I was younger, when I was in my 20s, when I was first learning things, I should keep it all to myself because I felt like, well, maybe that'll make me more valuable, more important, because they don't know how to do this thing. But no, now that I'm older, wiser, deeper in debt, you teach the thing. Whatever knowledge I have, I'll impart to anybody. People come to me all the time at DJ shows and they say, hey, how do you work this stuff? And I'll give them a quick synopsis. I mean, of course, while I'm at a show, it's hard to do. But if anybody wanted me to come over and teach them something, I'll be happy to do it. No problem. No problem. And these kids, they're learning how to hone their craft from the greats. They're going to Nashville. If they're trying to play country music, hey, where are you going to go? Nashville. Yeah, that'd be the spot. And they're taking trips there constantly. They just came back. They're heading back tomorrow. And from Batesville to Nashville, it's not a short jaunt. It's like 3 or 4 hours. It's probably more than 4 hours. I haven't MapQuested it. That's coming off the top of my head. I know from Conway, Arkansas, it's about 6 hours. And Batesville is a good 2 hours away from here, but it's north and east. So geography hard, and they're homeschooling themselves. Hey, I encourage you, if you have the means, if you have the time, homeschool your kids. They get that one-on-one training. It's helped my daughter. I'm so happy that she is homeschooled. She is the smartest kid, and it's in no small part to that one-on-one training that she's getting from her mama, and that's a great thing, a beautiful thing. And it also gives you the opportunity to have your schedule flexible enough to do other things. For my daughter, it's dance. For these kids, it's music. And they're taking their music. They're already touring musicians at 14 and 18 years old. Touring musicians. They've gone all over the South and the Southeast to Florida. Oh my goodness, to Georgia, and all points in between. So they're working. They're working hard to make their dream a reality, and I encourage you to do so as well. Such a good talk. Such a good conversation. Make sure you support your local artist by going to a show, or at least by listening to their music on Spotify. That gets them a couple pennies, every song play. Put them on your Spotify playlist. And if you have the means, hey, buy a song on Apple, on iTunes, or Amazon, either one, wherever you get your music. So, yeah, do that. All right, I've had a good time chit-chatting with the fellas and the mama, and it's time for me to close this show up. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. If you want to tell your story, yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, you. Give me a call at 501-470-6386 or email info@radiowhat.com. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. It's Keys Dan, radiowhat.com, djlittlerock.com. Peace. I'm out of here. If you like what you hear, follow What Makes You Famous social media. Use the hashtag What Makes You Famous. Follow on Facebook at What Makes You Famous. Follow on Instagram at What Makes You Famous. Follow on Twitter at Makes Famous. And follow on YouTube at Keys Dan. Leave What Makes You Famous podcast a review and subscribe. Listen to What Makes You Famous podcast on Podbean, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, and almost anywhere you find podcasts. Tell your story on my podcast, What Makes You Famous. Call 501-470-6386 and leave a message to set up a time. You can support What Makes You Famous using the PayPal link, paypal.me/KeysDan. Email info@radiowhat.com. What Makes You Famous podcast is a production of Keys Dan Enterprises Incorporated at keysdan.com. Thank you for listening. Radio What? The music you want, with some words to live by. Believe in miracles. A public service message from radiowhat.com. The music you want.
Hey guys, this is Shelly G. She said, what? Well, you are going to have to listen to the countdown to hear what I say. And make sure to keep listening to Radio What for more information and trivia. She said, what?